Trump has started his first day of presidency and has already increased tariffs for many countries. So, how will that affect Indian stock market? And also, in other news, we have Vodafone, Idea retail favorite stock, which hit up almost 9 to 10% as soon as the market opened. So, we'll learn all about that in today's video. Hey guys, welcome to Post Market Report Update by Goodwill. And as you can see, I have Nifty's chart here, which opened with a very small gap up, and this are traded in the exact base that it created in yesterday's gap up, and same with bank nifty as well, opened with a very slight gap up and then extremely sideways throughout the day. So not many exciting things happened compared to the last couple of trading sessions whatever we have had due to Maharashtra election. The market was very volatile. So in next news, the big news for today is basically Trump, who has started his first day as the presidency, and he has already increased tariffs for three companies. One is Mexico, one is Canada, and extra 10%, that means 25% for these two countries, and on top of that extra 10%, so 35% of extra tariff on China, whatever will be imported from them. So there are many reasons behind why Trump has taken this very extreme move. So first, let's learn about what is going on between US and China. So basically, there's something called as fentanyl, which is one for type of a drug that is apparently being used a lot in US, and it has resulted in a lot of death in people aged from 18 to 40. So this particular drug is being trafficked through China, and then apparently it's somehow going to Mexico, and US has a very long-standing thing going on with Mexico, where they do not want them to come illegally to US basically. So on top of that, there is a very long standing dispute between the country regarding drug use. So now US, especially Trump, who got elected and who took charge as president today, his first plan of action is to have more tax on these two countries, mainly on China, because this particular uh, drug called fentanyl is coming from China, and it's actually supplied in US through Mexico apparently. So he has applied a lot of pressure on them by including this sort of tariff, and he has obviously excluded India because clearly India is not sharing any border with US, and they're not actually in any sort of dispute when it comes to stuff like this. But then they have also applied, 25% tariff rate on Canada, which again is a matter of border patrol. So basically, they have a lot of immigrants coming into US illegally without knowing, just like how in India we face problem where Bangladeshis coming to India without any legal certifications. They come illegally. The same thing US is going through that, and President Trump has basically sort out a new way of dealing with it, where he's just gonna charge them extra tariff on anything and everything that will come to US from these countries. And next off, we have a slight change in base metals. So this basically comes from the same news. Trump is basically putting all these tariffs on all these countries like China, and China is like one of the biggest user of metals. They use whatever the entire world uses, 50% of that steel in a year. So that's a huge thing what China does. And clearly, if he puts all these tariffs, it's going to affect how much metals that China is going to use. Market is weighing in all these informations, and you notice, metals like steel, aluminum, they're all falling a little bit today. Still not a huge impact, but we might be able to see that in the future whether China will take any action against this fentanyl drug. So next off, we have defense stocks which showed a pretty good rally, and again there are multiple reasons for it. We have Garden Reach, which went up by almost 7 to 8%, and Hindustan Aeronautics was up by 2% early morning but settled around 1.75%, and same with Bharat Electronics. And there are multiple reasons. For example, companies like Hindustan Aeronautics and BEL, these companies deal with orders that go back to US or other countries as well, not just India. So now what they're saying, because of all these geopolitical tensions that is creating, US is blocking all these China, Mexico, they are thinking that this will somehow create some sort of orders for these defense stocks. That's why companies like HAL and BEL are going up. But on the other hand, our stocks like GRSE, which I talked about earlier, which was up by almost 10%, even Cochin Shipyard All these stocks are going up because India Alliance have their won elections in Maharashtra as well. So they are thinking that they'll invest more in these defense companies to basically strengthen the country's defense. So you can notice that particular impact happening in all these stocks. And next off, we have a stock named GE Varnova. Basically, this is one of the stocks which hit an lower circuit as soon as the market opened today, and this comes as a surprise because it's basically promoter is willing to sell 8.3% stake as an offer for sale. I think it's worth around 1.4 crore, basically 1.4 crore worth of shares. So this is clearly not a good news for the company if the promoter himself is selling a lot of shares as offer for sale. So you can notice the stock going up, and this is one of the things that we notice in multiple stocks. If the promoter himself is trying to sell the stock of the company, that is taken as a negative news from the market's point of view, and other retail investors or any investor will lose faith in the company, and they also try to sell the company. This is a phenomenon we notice on a daily basis in the stock market. So next off, I have Vodafone. I think everybody has been waiting for this news. Has gone up almost 8%, but early morning I think I even saw it go up 9-10% as soon as it opened. And there's a very clear indication between why this is happening. And mainly, see, all these telecom companies, especially the old age companies like Vodafone, BSNL, all these companies used to rely on government. They have taken a huge loan, and these loans are basically in form of bank guarantees, that is BG. So now Vodafone itself owes around 24,700 crores to the government, and today the cabinet has basically passed some sort of a thing where they are saying, you know what, it's okay, we're going to clear their basically whatever they owe to the government. Not just Vodafone, including Airtel as well. Even they own, I think, about 3 to 7,000 crores, if I'm not wrong. So, government is apparently willing to clear all these loans because without that, they'll not be able to survive. And if these companies do not survive, there will not be a proper competition for Jio or Airtel. There needs to be a healthy competition in order for the price to remain accessible for common man, or for the need of innovation basically in the market. Monopoly will not be a good scenario for the consumer wise. So government has clearly taken a step, and they're saying, what, we'll just give away 24,700. So clearly this is for Vodafone. So we can clearly see its impact as the stock goes by 8% today. And next off, I have and I so next off I have an input on Enviro Infra Energy's IPO, which was subscribed by an overwhelming number of times by retail investors. That is 35 times. So imagine that. Another relatively small IPO, I would say, got 650 crores. We have IPOs that come out with 20-30,000 crores, but compared to that, this is a very small IPO. Again, we notice a huge amount of participation, not only by retail, as you can see, non-institutional investors subscribed almost 106 times. That is just absolutely insane. And even qualified investors have subscribed for about 14 times. So clearly a very good market sees some sort of potential in this IPO. I'm very curious to know what will happen over the next few days when the IPO lists, what sort of IPO gain it will lead to. Let us know down below in the comment section if you actually did apply for this IPO. So next off, I have a lot of IPOs coming this week. We can check out more details on our website. I'll leave the description, a link in the description. As you can see, we have Rajesh Power Services, Rajputana Biodiesel, and I think mainly Agarwal Teflon Glass India as well. We have a lot of IPO coming this week, so about 6 IPOs in the next 5 days. So it's very interesting to see how much of these what GMP they are carrying at the moment. Check out more details in the description. So, and finally, I have Sagility India, a share which has hit 10% upper circuit today after it posted a very fantastic quarterly result. As you can see, net profit is up almost 235% at 117 crores. So clearly a huge jump from 34 crore last year, and revenue is also up by 21% to 1,300 crores. And EBITDA is also, there's a healthy move in EBITDA as well, 20.26%. So basically EBITDA stands for earning before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. So without all these numbers, so there itself they have made about 316 crore, which is a very good news for the company, which was slightly relatively sideways for quite a while. So we can notice a 10% upper circuit in the stock.
If you're a trader following market calls and tips for day trading, use our tool RNT, Research and Trade. All you have to do is link RNT to your trading account, then just sit and relax. Turn trading into business at app.gwcindia.live. Check out description for more details.
Disclaimer: investments in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.